Mic check. All praises to the Most High. Come. No, mic check.
Make sure you use a headphone.
Mic check. Go ahead. Huh? Take it off.
It's, you must know whether you want it on or not. Go ahead.
Keep it up. Okay. All praises to the Most High.
All praise.
Don't listen to the voice, listen to the words. Come, all ye that labor and are heavy laden. Come, all ye that labor and are heavy laden. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. My yoke is easy and my burden is light, and ye shall find rest for your souls. He shall find rest for your souls. He shall find rest for your souls. For my burden is light. Yada Yahuwah.
Yada Yahuwah. All praises to the Most High. All praises to his name. Thank you, Atara. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. Yeah. Good job, Atara. All right. Shalom, everyone. And welcome once again to another of our teachings. We started with a Difference There song by Atara to start off today. I want to say great shalom to those who are out there on YouTube and for all those who are here today, the family and the visitors who are here with us today. I want to say welcome to you all. All right? So today, the Most High continues on in the road of sanctification, continues to, as he has been doing in the past couple of weeks, continues to give us words of sanctification, words to make us look into ourselves and to change our lives as he continues to polish us off and to change us into the persons he wants us to be. And today we are going to look at a very common but little spoken problem that comes with us as believers. And that is the problem of anger. Anger. So many of us are snared by this problem and we don't even really know and we take no note of it. Anger gets us into so much trouble. And this below here, I don't remember where I got it from, but could you read down at the bottom there, Shamuel?
But if an angry temper approaches, immediately the Holy Spirit, or the Ruach HaKadosh, which is very sensitive, is distressed because it does not have a clean place and it seeks to leave the place.
You see how dangerous anger is? If an angry temper approaches, hey, Ruach HaKadosh, which is very sensitive. So, Holy Spirit, as they call it, very sensitive. It is distressed by an angry temper because it does not have a clean place. So we know Ruach HaKadosh does not dwell in dirty vessels, in dirty places. So because the place is not clean, it seeks to leave the place. Can you imagine that? That's how serious anger is. So we're going to look at it today, just kickstarting everything to show you how serious anger is and why we need to look at it. And let's begin with the meaning of anger. Whoa, I didn't even put these things here. All right, the meaning of anger. Here we go. Yeah, the meaning of anger. A strong feeling of displeasure and usually of antagonism. For example, you could hear the anger in his voice. So it's a strong feeling of displeasure. You don't like something, so it comes with it brings you to a strong feeling of displeasure. Another one is a threatening or violent appearance or state. Example, rage. For example, suddenly it was swept by a strong gust of wind. New thunder, new anger came rolling over their heads. Anger, a threatening or violent appearance. Now, in the Hebrew scriptures, the word anger has many different meanings. But the most important one is where it comes from. And it says, also from the rapid breathing in passion, ire, anger, angrily, countenance, face, forbearing, forehead, all of these things are involved in anger. Rapid breathing in and out when you are in a temper. And it changes your countenance, your face, your forehead, nose, nostril, everything is involved in anger. Now, to begin with, we know that our Father is slow to anger. Psalms 103, 8-10.
Yahweh is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and plenteous in mercy. He will not always chide, neither will he keep his anger forever. He hath not dealt with us after our sins, nor rewarded us according to our iniquities.
So what is that telling us? It's telling us that as his sons, we have to have all these attributes. And look at the attributes. Merciful and gracious, slow to anger, plenteous in mercy. If we don't have these attributes, then we are not his children, we are not his sons. He will not always chide, because anger will always lead us to chide. Neither will he keep his anger forever. So how can we be children of the Most High and we are keeping our anger forever? He hath not dealt with us after our sins. So how comes when people sin against us, we are wanting to deal with them after the sins that they have transgressed against us? He hath not dealt with us after our sins, nor rewarded us according to our iniquities. So the Most High has seen our iniquities and has not rewarded us according to our iniquities. Yet when we get angry, we want to get back at people and say we are the children of the Most High. But that does not work at all. Leviticus 19:2 says, Speak unto all the congregation of the children of Yasharal, and say unto them, Ye shall be holy, or you shall be kadosh. For I, Yahuwah, your Alua, am kadosh. I am holy, so you must be holy. So, I am slow to anger, you must be slow to anger. I don't keep anger forever, you must not keep anger forever. I will not always chide, you must not always chide. I have not dealt with you after your sins, you are not to deal with people after their sins. I have not rewarded you according to your iniquities, you must not reward others according to their iniquities. All right? And today's presentation is just a few verses from the Bible. And we're going to look at some other books that are actually going to bring out things about anger that you won't find in the Bible. Because if you use only the anger that is found in the Bible, the examples is very hard to let us really know how dangerous anger is for us as believers. So, we're going to look at some scriptures that tell us to stay away from anger. Tehillim 37:8-9, Psalms 37:8-9. Let me get there. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Thank you. I remembered it this time. Psalm 37:8-9. Go ahead, please.
Still loading.
Oh.
All right. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil.
Continue.
For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon Yahuwah shall inherit the earth.
It says, cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil. So what it's actually saying, if you do not cease from anger and if you do not forsake wrath, then you are going to do evil. That's how serious anger is. And then it tells you what will happen to those who do not cease from anger and forsake wrath. For evildoers shall be cut off. So those of us who cannot control our anger, we shall be cut off. But those that wait upon Yahuwah, they shall inherit the earth. And those that wait upon Yahuwah are those that when the situation comes for them to get angry, they patiently take whatever is laid on them and leave vengeance unto Yahuwah. Okay? Let's look at another one. As we said, there are a few. Ephesians 4:31-32. Read, please.
Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Alua for Hamashiach's sake hath forgiven you.
Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. So we have to trade in all of that for kindness, tenderheartedness, forgiveness, even as the Most High hath forgiven us. And we know that if we do not forgive, we will not receive forgiveness. You see, anger is something that blinds us. Even as believers, we are here and everything, but get us angry, we forget everything that we have learned. And it blinds us so much that we now harbor hatred and all sorts of unforgiveness, all sorts of thoughts. And anger itself, when you really check anger, anger is born out of selfishness. You hurt me, I get angry and see how I can hate you. So I might get angry by finding some way to take vengeance, or I might get angry and say something to hurt you. But whichever way it is, I'm going to get my satisfaction and I'm going to get back at you, which of course is selfishness. And we know the people of the Most High must be selfless. We must be willing to take and suffer for righteousness' sake. Because if we are persecuted for righteousness' sake, what was the reward for that again? Somebody help me that one. In the Beatitudes, Matthew 5. All right. All right. Thank you very much. Ecclesiastes 7, verse 8 to 9 says, yours is the kingdom of Oluwa. Ecclesiastes 7, 8 to 9.
Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools.
All right. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Now, anger comes out of a spirit that is not patient. When you are prone to anger, then you will not have a patient spirit, because anger is born out of a need to be satisfied immediately. You are hurt, so you need hurt to be addressed immediately. And not only that, you need to get your satisfaction immediately. So the patient in spirit will not be easily angered. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools. In the bosom of fools. And why does it rest in the bosom of fools? Because when you get angry, you lose all sense, all common sense. Everything is lost and you become a fool. Though you were wise, at that moment you become a fool. And you do. Why do you think there are so many people in prison? Anger. And almost all of them, when they do it after, they regret it. Always regret it. Always regret it. But what? At that particular moment, they become fools. They forget that if they do this, then they might end up getting life imprisonment, or they might end up getting locked up. But they don't care at the moment. Anger locks off and blocks off everything. And to counter that, it is patience that is needed. So when someone hurts you, and that's why they usually tell you when you're young that you should count to 10. When someone does you anything, count to 10. That is the patience. And by the time you reach 10, then your desire to have immediate retribution, immediate payback, by the time you reach the 10, you have calmed down. So patience counters anger. Patience counters anger. All right. What else is there? Let's go to Proverbs 15, verse 18. Go ahead, please.
Proverbs chapter 15, verse 18. A wrathful man stirreth up strife, but he that is slow to anger appeaseth strife.
Tell me something about it, Shamal. I see you smiling. Tell me something about that.
Well, fools are quick to react, but the wise are always smart in terms of their approach to everything. So it is better to remain calm in all situations. But now as I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, how does one develop patience in order to be able to counter anger? How does one do that?
How does one where am I? How does one
How does one develop patience in order to counter anger?
Oh,
What are some of the practical steps? Because usually we are creatures of instant gratification. We are already prone to a negative habit. So that means that when someone offends you, before you can even think of harming them, you've already harmed them. Because it's our default nature right now. So how do I develop this nature whereby my decision is not triggered by the action? How am I able to, between the action and the trigger, in between, what do I do in order to nurture a habit to build patience so that I can be able to render justice, a proper justice that is suited for strife or anger?
you're asking me?
No, I'm asking everybody. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
because we have to know the practicalities to this.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm hoping I just don't want the word to get over our heads, because I know we use words more easily and frequently and we can get familiar with it. So how, in case there's someone watching us from YouTube, how do I develop this patient nature? Because when someone steps on your toe, your hand moves even before you can think. So how do I prevent the block from allowing my hands to move before I can think? How do I develop that fear of Yahuwah? This is what we need to deliberate on. I don't have the answers alone, so we can all share. All right. Someone says, Marika says humility. All right. What is wisdom? These are big words we are throwing about. Break this down. Practical. If I was ignorant and I just came out of the world, all right, seeking the Most High with all these temperaments that I've been servicing my whole life, how do I help to push back this nature? Because anger is not an easy nature. The word is telling you when it's in your bosom, it's a dangerous thing. So if you have a nature of anger, that means what? That means it's something you need to be conscious about in order to change it. It doesn't fall in default mode where else you don't respond, you would react. So how do I develop this nature to counteract anger? We have to see it. If we cannot see it, we will assume it and we will fail at executing it.
What would be the small victories you get when you hold your patience in humility?
Yes. So in order to build patience, it takes some small little steps to build this great word called patience. And what are these steps? And that's what I want us to practically look at it. Because as I'm speaking, I know many of us have this very same temperament. We have the urge to instantly gratify ourselves. So how do we practically build this nature? Now we've read the word. How do we interpret this word? Anyone?
Anytime that inkling of anger comes, you must push it down, suppress it.
How do you suppress it?
Consciously,
Eh? How? Because we have to. We have to. You can't change what you don't know. Yes, Uncle George.
Yeah, I think we have to develop self-discipline.
We have to develop self-discipline. All right? Which is good. It's not bad. Very good. So we have to develop self-discipline. How do we nurtures a self-disciplined nature. What do the military do in order to gain self-control? Because they are being trusted with ammunition. Now imagine without self-control, what would you do with that ammunition? And it's the very same thing many believers are doing with the word today. Without self-control, you're going to misuse the power, which is the word. So how do I nurture self-control, discipline in me, in order to not be susceptible to the realms of the enemy when anger comes? Walk in the spirit. How do you? This is what this seriously. We have to, because we can't see it. And if we can't see it, to move to the next step is going to be pointless. Uncle.
Okay. I think he said, yeah,
Yes, he said, yeah.
if you, it's not on, is it?
He's going to unmute it, yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
If we confess our sins, he's faithful. Yeah?
Yes.
And he said we must give him all our heavy loaded burden. Yeah?
Yes.
And I think anger is one of them. Everybody he knows his weak point.
Yes.
By the time when we start to pray,
Yes.
it's the first thing to start with me.
Okay.
And I believe it cannot be a thing of one day. I used to have anger.
All right.
All days.
Yes.
Even my boys, I need to beat them
Yes.
very hard. Even myself, I get hurt after beating them. Yeah?
Yes.
Then, since I start to pray, I start to confess my sins to him.
Yes.
On top of the scriptures, remember it's in the book of Tribulation.
Oh, okay, hold on. So we're just setting up the mic for everyone so you can hear everyone. For those of you online, all right? So just bear with us. You would hear them speak right now.
Go ahead.
I think, okay. I think anger is one of the evil spirit. One of the evil fruits. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Anger is one of the
One of the evil fruits.
okay, yes, fruits of yes.
Fruit of the evil. Yeah?
Yes.
It cannot be a thing for you to develop patience. It cannot be a thing for one day. Yeah? But what I believe, it says, if we confess our sins, he is faithful to forgive us.
Yes.
Yeah? Once I come to pray, then I realize when I have anger, I have to fight with it by prayer, confessing it. He said, if we confess our sins, he is faithful to forgive us and to purify us.
Yes.
I think it's starting there, because I used to have anger years back. But by the time, even last, every spirit that you encounter, when we start to pray upon it, all along I've been thinking, is when I'm seeking the kingdom of God and its righteousness. Is when I confess my weaknesses and when I tell him my problems. It's what I understand. But since from then, when I start to pray, I realize nowadays I'm changing. Even how people hurt me, I don't hurt them back. I start to develop patience.
So still you're not answering this question. It's a very simple question. How do you nurture patience? Don't speak with tongues of angels now. Don't spiritualize this. First, get the understanding of what the word is saying. You want to build the nature, isn't it? Character. Character is built by doing, isn't it? So tell me how I can develop nature. This nature, yes, Uncle George. Yeah.
Uncle Menzies, what you just shared is frightening for your boys. Because if I was one of your boys and I saw my dad getting angry, I think I would be praying, Father, make my father pray to get rid of that anger right now before he beats us. And it's hard to do. It's hard to go ahead with your life and get angry, and then all of a sudden something inside you flicks a switch where you pray to get rid of that anger, because it's not a switch mechanism, is it? Really? And we're talking about patience, perseverance, work with patience.
Yes.
So it's a whole lifestyle of change and going through anger
Yes.
and coming out months, weeks, days, years later, being able to exercise that self-control. And somebody mentioned the fruit of the Spirit.
Yeah.
And that's one of the fruits of the Spirit: self-control, patience, meekness, kindness. They're all the fruits, but we don't necessarily have the ability to manifest them all the time. And it's not something that we conjure up and manufacture. It is a lifestyle of work in patience.
So what does this lifestyle? The Most High is showing something, showing all of us something. I want us to see it, please. You have to see the word to know how to handle the word. All right. And this is not to reprove anyone. This is for us all learning so that we can walk in righteousness. Now, Uncle George just mentioned something very key. It's a lifestyle. Now, if it's a lifestyle, that means it's something you are doing. And I want to know the detail of what you do in order to nurture patience.
Something that helped me when I moved here and when I came into a knowledge and an understanding of the truth was wisdom. But wisdom is something that is not just instantly put in you or upon you. There's a book of wisdom, and my favorite scripture is Wisdom 6, verse 14. It says that every morning wisdom is crouching at your door, waiting for the invitation for you to invite wisdom into your life, so that you begin your day off with wisdom. Wisdom is the most powerful spirit that was used to create everything. Wisdom. And I now, every morning when I wake up, sometimes I forget because I might have gone to bed stressed out or in a different frame of mind, but I purposely wake up and I remember that scripture, Wisdom 6:14, and I remember that the spirit of wisdom is waiting for me to invite her to come in and dwell with me and take over my thoughts and my actions and give me the ability to deal with anger, which is one such manifestation of the opposite of that.
All right. What you've said is beautiful. But what is this wisdom? Again, I emphasize this. How can a sinner change their ways when they don't know what to change? This is what we are looking for. This is the ultimate puzzle that we have to solve. Because in Christianity, we would read the same passages, isn't it? I don't know how many times I read these passages.
Well, not in the book of wisdom, but in
this, because it's the same words. Yeah. The word doesn't change. The same words written in different styles by different people. So we're talking about patience. And we are being told patience is one of the fruits of the Ruach that we ought to have. Mm-hmm. But how can you have something you don't know what it looks like? Mm. So we need to get to the bottom of this matter and know so that there can be transformation in us. Mm-hmm. So that when we see something that does not look like what we've seen and heard, then we don't do it. But if we haven't seen it, we may have heard it. Hearing can lead to assumption. That doesn't mean you know it. Yeah. Mm. So we need to hear and we need to see. You get it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what is patience? And how does wisdom look like in order to help patience be executed?
The scripture says then, the fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom. That's the very start of wisdom. And that fear of Yahuwah, I don't know whether in the Christian church, whether there was any ever real revelation of the fear of God, of the fear of the one that they worshipped. But I know now the fear of Yahuwah is very important for us because we don't take anything lightly anymore, especially at this time. Everything's changed in our lives. in the last couple of months, and our understanding and belief of the Most High is very, it's very fearful. Because we don't fear him, he's going to judge us. He's going to judge us for our lack of reverence, our lack of respect. And all I know is that the beginning of the fear of the Lord, of Yahuwah, is the beginning of wisdom. So that's my starting point, I suppose.
Okay. So, to nurture the habit or the nature of patience or the character of patience, you first need to look for ways and how to. All right? How to. So, look for ways to practice self control. How do you practice self control in order to execute patience? Learning habits like teaching yourself to walk away, take walks, all right? Go for a long walk, even if it's 30 minutes, go. Taking some deep breath outside there. You don't have to speak when someone speaks back to you, all right? Take a walk. Find something to do to help what? Reduce the intensity of what? The emotion. Because you want to appease the wrath. You want to appease wrath. So you need to learn habits. And there are many ways to learn these habits. And one of them, as I'm saying, is by taking, and that's Brother Kazak said, what did he say? He says, you used to be told to count to what? To 10.
Yeah.
If you like, take counting to 100. By the time you're done counting, that intensity of that anger is what is reduced. And it's actually bought time. And the time that is bought is what we call mercy.
Yeah.
The time that is bought by your patience is what we call mercy. So we need to build in us many different ways, habits, because you want to change habits. That's what the Most High wants us to change. Habits. Habits. When you were growing up, everything you were doing that you thought was right, according to Yahuwah, is wrong. So you need to build a counter, the opposite. So when your mind is telling you slap, why don't you start telling yourself, let me fetch water and give to this person? Or let me look for a need in that person and assist with. You force your will. Because what we are talking about is an issue of the will. And if your will does not agree with you, expect wrath to be dished or to be served. So how do I appease my own will, my wrath? This is what we practically and essentially need to be finding out. And if we don't know these things practically, these are not spiritual things. These are things that are right before us. How to practice self-control. How to master patience. When someone speaks back to me, when someone insults me, why do I feel pricked by it? That means what they're saying about me is true. Because if it wasn't true, why am I reacting? That's what I should be asking myself. Why am I so moved? And the person is insulting you because they want you to be moved, and now you are being moved. So, isn't there truth in what they've just told you? If I were you, I would listen to what they are saying and ask them, why have you said this actually? Maybe I may have missed something about myself. The moment we start personalizing everything that happens to us, there cannot be change, nor would there be patience, tolerance, long-suffering, joy. Our peace is removed. And all that is lurking in the mind is wrath.
Because we're always going to be justifying ourselves.
Let me save myself by defending myself. What are you defending? You're defending the truth. That means the Most High is actually going to hit you with a strong delusion.
But you're defending the truth with your feelings.
And the feelings are there to tell you what they are saying is true. But if it gets to a place where your feelings don't respond to it, then you know it's false. So how do I get to a place where my feelings Because the feeling is the center of decision making. If you are dead to that feeling, then that means Yahweh cannot redeem you. Because if you are constantly wicked, then you are going to remain what? Wicked.
Yeah.
How are we going to bring you back to seeing the truth? It's an impossible mission. So the feelings are a good thing, provided you know what they are for.
Yeah.
Aki, you can continue.
Right. So let me add something to that. The question was asked, kind of backing up what you were saying. Romaim, let me get this thing going. Romaim 5:3, Romans 5, verse 3. Romans 5:3. Go ahead, please.
All right. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience.
That's it. So, patience is worked by you having that tolerance to accept what is happening and to try to find a way, as Samuel said, to overcome it by your patience, by tribulation. So you are being hurt and you are being burned, and you suffer that tribulation. The more we suffer tribulation over time and take it little by little, that is when we work out to be very patient. We cannot be patient by responding with anger. We are patient by, when we feel the need or the urge to become angry, then we patiently take the tribulation and we learn patience to patience to patience until we become like our brother Job or Job.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing that we've been asking Yah to build in us a nature of like him,
Yeah.
patience, long suffering. And how can the Most High help you? By to put you in the midst of tribulation in order for you to learn that nature that he has.
Yes. Yes.
Because you can gain this by practicals, not by praying. By what? Practicals. And that's what many of us run from.
Yeah.
Many believers run from doing.
Yes.
We love to hear,
Hey.
but to do, we run away. And the Most High is saying, what should I do for these people? They say they want to be perfect. I present them the opportunities and they run away. So who is lying? Is it me and my words, or is it them? And the word is saying, it's them. It's them. I came to them and they ran away. I wanted to help them build the nature, but they ran away. Let's go on.
All right. Oh boy, I didn't pin this. Okay. Where were we again? Stay away from anger. All right. And also another thing to learn about anger again is us provoking someone to anger. So we can get angry, but we also can provoke others to anger. And this is another aspect of it that we need to look about. And let's go to the book of Mishlei, Proverbs 15, verses 1 to 2.
Soft answers turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. The tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness.
A soft answer turneth away wrath. So in any conversation, a soft answer will turn away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. So this is how many arguments come about. One person is hurt, then they speak grievous words. Anger is stirred up in the other person. That person brings anger and starts attacking. You get angry, and then everything gets out of control. All right? But it says the tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright. So the wise is going to speak knowledge or words at the right time. So even if you're correcting someone, you have to know when
And how?
and how. When and how, very important. The tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright. So we can have knowledge, as we have been seeing over the past week, and not, oh, come on. Oh, yeah. We can have knowledge and not use it aright. So we become fools, because the mouth of fools pour out foolishness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very true. And an example is that, and the reason why the Most High wants us to wear now the lens of mercy is that when you have the truth, mercy is the filtration point. It diffuses what the tenacity or intensity of what of the truth. That means that, look at what it says: soft answer.
Mhm.
So if you want to speak to aid somebody
Yes.
who is blinded, the approach
Mhm.
has to be with what? With empathy,
Yeah.
soft.
So,
Because the moment you go and meet sin for sin, what's going to happen? Shouting for shouting,
hey, railing for
slapping
railing.
for slapping, eye for an eye. What's going to happen? Can there be righteousness that is
No.
developed out of it?
Chaos is going to come.
Chaotic. And then when matters get hot, now we tend to now we're like, I wish I didn't even
Say that.
anything.
Sorry, I said it.
And you can't take back your words now. Now you need to see the whole battle through, finish it.
Yep.
And in that moment, if you can't continue, you'll be disgraced by the opposition. Because the opposition, who is a sinner, only knows one thing, which is what? Wickedness. So they're going to see it all the way to the end after they've embarrassed you and shamed you. But this is where wisdom is important. To say soft answer turneth away wrath. Even when people offend you, doesn't mean that now you must sit on the high seat and do what? And utilize that and make yourself a king and
Yeah.
hold them ransom. No.
Yeah.
Now is the time to show your wisdom. All right.
All praises. So again, Ephesians 6:4.
And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of Yahuwah.
All right. Fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath. And we know that parents, this is a well-known verse in the scripture. It needs no expounding on. I just put it in to show that we ourselves must not stir up anger in others. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, what's happening here? Oh. Oh. Now we know that there can also be righteous anger as well, as Hamashiach showed us. Mark 3:3-5. Are we ready?
Yep.
Let me get this thing on the screen. Sorry. Mark 3:3-5. Go ahead, please.
And he saith unto the man which had the withered hand, stand forth. And he said unto them, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath days, or to do evil, to save life, or to kill? But they held their peace. And when he had looked round about on them with anger, being grieved for the hardness of their hearts, he said unto the man, stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it out, and his hand was restored as the other, was restored whole as the other.
So he was angry with the establishment, with the religious people. Hamashiach was always at loggerheads with the scribes and the Pharisees because of the hardness of their heart. And he knew that they had no interest in righteousness. But with the ordinary people, he always showed empathy and sympathy. So sometimes, as we have to be like Hamashiach, the religious people will get us angry. You seen that? Go ahead.
There's the next place where it said be angry. Where it said
Yeah, We're coming up. Yeah. Go ahead. Yes,
Yeah, no. Once we get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, once we get to
I
that.
think it's
scripture.
next. Yeah. Ephesians 4:26-27. I think that is it. Ephesians 4:26-27. Could you read, please?
Be angry. Again, be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Neither give place to the devil.
All right. No.
That,
That's it. So
all right. So this was what Amikai was pointing us back to. And that is what earlier on we were saying when we said feelings are there to do what? What is the purpose of feelings? The Most High put in feelings in us. To quicken us.
Yeah.
To quicken us to something.
Yeah.
So if someone gives you gifts and you don't have feelings, that means empathy, because feelings teach you empathy and compassion. You might not be able to show gratitude. All right? So when someone surprises you with a car, how do you feel? And when I'm standing there, you don't need to say anything. I know that something good has happened to you. The same way when someone slaps you. All right? Ouch! It also says something. So the feeling is a center of decision making. You get what I'm saying? It is an opportunity. It presents an opportunity to you to help you please the Most High. Show your wisdom before the Most High. In order to say, what do you do in this situation? You've been hit. You are feeling it. How are you going to praise the Most High in this? Do I react or do I hold back? It's a choice. So the feeling is where the choice lies. So without the feeling, in other words, the feeling is attached to the will. Because the will is where we are pricked in order to be quickened to make what? The right choices in life. So the Most High says, if you leave your feeling to itself, which is the sin nature that's already in you, is going to do what? It's going to automatic. It's set on automatic.
yes.
It's going to react in a negative way. So now when you have the word, the reason why you have the word is because the word is telling you right from wrong. So now you know right by what the word of the Most High says. That's the power you have. So knowing this is wrong, what do I ought to do in that moment? So he's saying, be angry. That means that when I slap you, you will feel. You see that? The feeling is an expression of hurt, isn't it? But is the hurt a reason justifiable to react negatively? So what do you do with that feeling? This is why you need the word of the Most High. Because if you don't know a word that tells you don't hate, your flesh is going to tell you to do what?
Yes.
Because your flesh is the one feeling it. It's present in this earth. So it feels things. That means everything the flesh is going to be telling you is true. But now the spirit man also, who is also inwardly, also has a truth that is contrary to what the flesh man is telling you to do. So that's why the word says we walk by what? Faith and not by
Sight.
good. So this is a reasoning center in the feeling. What comes out of this feeling is how we determine whether we are righteous or not. So the Most High presents an opportunity when someone slaps you because you've been going around bragging, I'm so patient, hey? I'm so humble. Then comes Brother Shamo who gives you a kick in your stomach. Now, let's see. This is your opportunity. So in works, they deny him. That means they are so set on the carnal man, the flesh. The flesh is telling him that you are right. But the question is, the more the flesh tells you that you are right, the same way every human on earth who is presently here can also determine that they are right. So if you hit me and I'm saying, yes, you've hit me and I'm right to hit you back, guess what? The day you also step on my toe, what am I supposed to do? Is there ever going to be peace here? This is so now the decider now is the word of the Most High. He says, yes, you've been insulted. Yes, these things have happened to you. You can feel it. I agree. But now, I'm trying to see whether you would obey me again or you are going to go after your own understanding. Because I said, and I've said this before, we are all here to prove ourselves to Yahuwah. That is why it is the duty. This is the duty of man. It is what? To fear Yahuwah and to
Keep his commandments.
keep all his commandments. So the spirit man is telling you by the word that, hey, it's painful, but it's not the end.
Yeah.
Did you die? No. Let them go. No, but let's let them go. No. Okay, let's take a walk. We take a walk, we come back. Your conscience will ask you, how do you feel now? And you'll be looking at the person, but you won't feel the same thing, the strength of that wrath. You will not feel it. So the chances of executing it becomes what? Very narrow. And the more you put this into practice, the more a time comes when you literally walk away when there's arguments and quarrels.
Yeah.
But you cannot walk from arguments and quarrels and hurt if you haven't been practicing this. So the Most High is saying, be angry. Because if the Most High didn't say that, then he'd be a liar, because he made us with his faculties of feelings. So we experience the hurt. But Satan is lurking there to draw us. Because Satan says, so you are right.
Yes.
Can't you feel it? Don't let them lie to you. You are right. Come, let's go insult them. Let's go kill them.
Yes.
Okay, you go on. This is
All right, let's look to the word. Yeah, go ahead.
Would it be
George.
right in saying that the body's full of nerve endings which send signals to the brain? So if we get pricked somewhere, it hurts, and it's a warning signal as well. So feelings could be the nerve endings to the soul. Would that be right in assuming that? Because it can go two ways, can't it?
yeah, two ways, yeah.
It could be a good hurt or a
Or
bad
a bad
hurt.
one. Determined on your disposition, where you stand.
Yeah.
So if you have the truth, you know how to easily resolve this.
Yeah.
But if you leave it to your carnal mind, the carnal man also knows how to
Yeah.
resolve it.
The flesh.
But now the carnal man is in control here. So who's the boss right now? It's the carnal man.
Yeah.
And the Most High is teaching us by the power of his word to subdue who?
Carnal man.
So that before you know, practicing the word, a time comes when you are at peace with all men. Because the Most High is the one doing it in you, teaching you self-control, building and nourishing you.
Yeah.
But if you do not do the word, you cannot express self-control. It's as simple as that. It's not magic. I can't pray that into you. If not, then the word becomes of no effect. The word is there so that we can do it. And the Most High says, when we do this, we show people our wisdom. I think it's in Deuteronomy something. Deuteronomy, let me just get it quickly. Deuteronomy 4 verse 6.
Devarim 4, verse 6.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. So keep them and what?
Do that.
them.
The world, even Satan knows that habits are built within a couple of days, isn't it? And the more you do it, it becomes permanent, depending on how long you've been doing it. The one that goes to the gym every day, going to the gym is nothing. Waking up 4 a.m. in the morning and going to is nothing. It's become a habit. But in the beginning of saying, I want to go and work out at 4 a.m., it will take everything inside of you, because that's the point where the sleep is very nice. So the first baby steps are not going to be easy. That's why the Most High says you do it. And as you're doing it, you become a master at what you do. You get it? So patience is practiced. It's not inherited as people assume. You have to be doing patience in order to become patient. And that's what it is. These are the practical parts. So it says, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom. So if you don't do the word, can the Most High regard you as wise?
No.
No. You are deceiving yourself saying, I'm a believer. And your understanding. So this is your wisdom and your understanding. If you understand the word, you what? You do the word. Shalom.
All right, so let's get a scripture to match up with what you just said. First Peter 2,
Verse.
21.
For even hereunto were ye called before.
Yeah, let's put it big.
It's coming here.
Yeah.
For even hereunto were ye called, because Hamashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps.
You see? Suffering. Verse 22.
Who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth.
Now, all of us here have done sin. But Hamashiach did no sin, and yet still. Next verse says,
Who, when he was reviled not again. When he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judgeth righteously.
all of us have sinned. And guess what? When people do us things, right? We want to get back at them, or we want to get at them, because at that particular time, I might feel I am right and that person is wrong. But Hamashiach, who did no sin at all, that means at all times he was right. When he was reviled, when they mocked him, when they cursed him, he did not revile. When he suffered, he did not threaten them, but committed himself to him that judgeth righteously, which is the Most High, Yahuwah Sabaoth. This is our example that we need to follow.
That is a duck. That is it.
Yeah.
So when someone offends you and you say you've been claiming, oh, I believe in the Most High, I believe, your wisdom will demonstrate your reaction there. If you trust in him, then you will leave judgment to who?
To him.
To him. Then you will leave judgment to it. So people would hardly hear insults from your mouth. People would hardly hear vengeance from you. Even the sinners will be thinking, man, this guy, how come he does not retaliate? It even worries the people that are offending and oppressing you, because they are looking for a response and you are not giving them. And that's who Hamashiach became and was. So the word says we must follow what? In his examples. Examples means that you have to do. Again, it's not on default mode. You have to set your affections towards pleasing the Most High. So you have to do. You have the word. Yahusha had the word and he did it, isn't it? And the more you do, the more you gain experience in order to impact people. So you're not a hypocrite. You're not speaking vain words, empty words. What I'm speaking is something that I have practically lived it. When people stepped on my toes, it was painful. Am I saying it's not painful? No. But what you do with that pain is what shows that you are sensible and you are wiser than the one that offense came through. Shalom.
Like going to a dentist and having work done on your teeth, and they give you an injection which actually numbs the pain. So it's almost like your nerve endings have disappeared. And wouldn't that be great if some of us could have that same disappearance of our feelings, so that we just become numb to anything that we're attacked with? And yet nobody can take your feelings away.
No.
Even when you become a believer, your feelings are never become numb.
And by the feelings is how we please the Most High.
Yeah.
Because he knows that we felt it. And what we did is how he's marking us. So if you are a robot with no feelings,
Yeah.
clearly, come on.
Easy.
Come on, you cheated the test, isn't it? The test is that you experience this reality and righteousness comes out of you. That is the test. Because if Yahweh wanted to make us robots, he would have done it from the beginning. But there's a reason why he kept us to that experience of this realm. So that we can, by it, the feelings, prove ourselves worthy before Him.
Yeah.
So with no tribulation, there are no rewards. With no tribulation, there are no what? Rewards.
Say it again. Say it again.
With no tribulation, there are no
No
rewards.
Yeah. Try getting married.
Ah.
Because the husband and wife could do with a switch, a feelings switch on the back of the neck. And every now and then, if you get in trouble, you just flick that one off. Flick those off.
That is the highest example you have just given, right?
But it's never
Marriage
gonna
is the
happen.
highest, yes,
Yeah.
of these experiences.
Please
Because-
help us.
You can go ahead.
All right. All right. So that was the Bible. What is that to say on anger? Not much. Not much. So many of us will be caught napping with anger. But we're going to go to the Testament of Dan that speaks more and goes into anger and the impact of anger. For those who don't know, the Testament of Dan comes from the Testament of the 12 patriarchs. The 12 patriarchs, the 12 children, 12 sons of Israel. And before they died, they left testaments. You all need to read the testaments. They are so powerful. As you're going to see today, the Testament of Dan. And Dan was known for his anger. And he's going to tell us before he died and confess how anger got him in all sorts of problems. So let's go, the Testament of Dan. Right, you want me to put it bigger?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
In the 125th year of his life, spake the words or testament of Dan unto his family gathered together. Hearken unto these words, ye sons of Dan, and give heed to the words of your father. I have proved in my heart and in my whole life that truth with just dealing is good and well pleasing to Yah. And that lying and anger are evil because they teach man all wickedness. Therefore, it is important that to our fellow brethren, we be just and honest.
Lying and anger are evil because they teach man all wickedness. So anger must not be named among us as believers. None at all. Continue.
All right. Due to jealousy, Dan in his heart resolved on the death of his brother Joseph, the true and good man. Therefore, Dan had rejoiced that Joseph had been sold because his father loved him more than the other brothers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the work showed me something, but let's continue. Diverse spirits of Belial. So should I continue there? Okay. In addition, it was for the spirit of jealousy and vainglory which had said to Dan thyself, also at his son. And another of the spirits of Belial stirred Dan up, saying, take the sword, and with it slay Joseph. So shall thy father love thee when he is dead. Similarly, the spirit of anger which came to Dan to persuading him to crush Joseph as a leopard crusheth a kid. But by the mercy of Yah, the Most High did not allow Joseph to fall into his hands. Otherwise, Dan would have found him alone and caused a tribe in Israel to be destroyed. Behold, the children of Dan, that of a truth I tell you, that unless you keep yourselves from the spirit of lying and anger, and love truth and long suffering,
Truth and what?
long suffering, love truth and mercy, love truth and long suffering, you will perish. Full stop. It's a statement on its own. If you don't love truth and what? And mercy, long suffering, you will perish. Full stop. For anger is blindness, and does not allow one to see the face of any man with
Stop,
truth.
Stop. Stop. Anger is blindness. And as we said from the start, anger blinds you and does not allow one to see the face of any man with truth. Continue. Ak.
So, in other words, anger makes a person a hypocrite. Anger blinds. Okay, wow, this is serious. And why is this happening? I mean, Uncle George used the highest example, which is marriage. Do you get a better lesson than marriage? Well, true. Every experience of life is in marriage in multiples. Because guess what? You have to be hurt and you have to learn to dwell with the one that hurt you. This is what the Most High is getting us all to see. Being hurt and not cutting ourselves away. Because the Most High is not about what? Division is about what? Unity. Hey, those that have married and have been divorced, I feel sorry. Pay attention. Because the word cuts through everything. Anger is not a license or a good reason to do what? To divide. Please pay attention. The Most High is saying to you that no matter how angry you are, you can be able to do what? Mend. That is if you have wisdom. And wisdom means that is if you are willing to do it. The moment you are blinded, now you can use a friend and you can use a spouse. When you met your spouse, they were so nice, weren't they? Man, buying you all that. Hey, hi, baby. Your friends are suffering because every second you are with them, you are calling her. Oh, hi, love. Oh, how you do? Then men become like babies. And then, the day you get familiar with one another, offense sets in, and then bitterness sets in. And then in that moment, we start to discredit every other thing that you've ever known about this person from the beginning. This is the blindness of anger. Once you get hurt, the very same spouse who used to buy you gifts, suddenly you even claim that you've never even done good to me. Because you are speaking based on what? Anger, you're feeling what's happening in that moment. So now, not only is it forgotten, you ruin the person to the chance of ever wanting to desire to do good to you again. Man, the word is deep. If you take it lightly, just by reading novels, you are going to miss the essence of it. When you are angry and you do not let go of that anger, all right, it starts to eat up every beautiful thing around you. Life begins to fall away, fall apart. Next thing, you stop coming home early. Next thing, you are walking and avoiding all your friends. It's dividing. See, the anger is doing what? It's dividing. And as you continue in it, it blinds you more because now you might start seeing things that they are doing and assume that is, look, I'm right. Look at what they're doing. They're talking about me. They are gossiping. Look. And then it creates more exponential channels to hurt. Now, when that hurt, you see, it's creating different avenues. That means there is root, it's taking roots. And you know what a root looks like? It has many what? Like tentacles, isn't it? And it starts holding you captive now because it's growing in you. And that's why they say sin grows like a sycamore what? Tree. And when it develops root, it's hard to take it out. But it's easier when you let go of it and you restrain yourself from saying anything and actually telling this loved one you love them rather than hate them. Because it's going to kill this spirit of Belial that is trying to arouse your feelings and telling you, validate what you're doing. And once it validates that feeling in you, you're going to break every bond you have with any human on this earth. Ak, please, let's continue.
Go ahead. There's much more.
There's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So it says,
Even toward.
even toward his own father or mother, his behavior towards them as enemy.
So dangerous anger is?
It spreads like wildfire. Next thing, your best friend is talking to this person you are hating, and then you've now started hating your best friend. He's gonna go conspire with him against me. Let me cut them all off. And this is what Satan has been validating in us in the world. Because guess what the world tells us? When people are infringing on your energy, cut them off. That's what they tell you.
Yeah.
These are the doctrines in the world.
Yes.
If someone affects your peace, do what? Cut them.
Cut them off.
So I go cutting. Thinking I'm becoming wise, I'm actually becoming more foolish. Very lonely. And you're going to grow up to be an old, grumpy woman or man with no family members around you, no friends, nothing. Lonely, and you will die bitter. That's why Yahuwah says you will perish.
Continue.
Similarly towards his brother, he knoweth him not. Even though a prophet of Yah, he disobeys him. Although a righteous man, he regards him not. Although a friend, does not acknowledge him.
Anger. So all of these things cannot be of the people of the Most High. Treating our father and mother as enemies because they did something to us. Your brother, as if you do not know him. Even though he is a prophet of the Most High, he disobeys his brother because he's angry. Although the man is righteous, you do not regard him. Although he's a friend, you don't even acknowledge him. This is what anger does. Continue, please. Yes, this is very important now.
For the spirit of anger encompasses him with a net of deceit, blinding his eyes, and through lying darken his what?
Mind.
His mind, and give a peculiar vision.
This is strong delusion. So the spirit of anger encompasses him with a net of deceit. A net of deceit means deceit from every single angle. From every single angle. And so the eyes are blinded. And lying comes in. It's like when you're angry, lying is your favorite weapon. Lying, when you lie, it darkens your own mind and gives you a peculiar vision, your own vision of what you want to see, so that you can get to
you can get to execute
your anger.
Your feelings.
Yeah.
Gratify your feelings.
Yeah.
Wow. So anger says as what? It encompasses you with a net.
Yes.
That means the moment you are angry, you are likely to become Satan's. That is if you don't change. And the Most High says it's easier to quickly let it go before the sun. Look at the time it's given. Before the sun goes down. Don't let the sun go down and you're still angry. Because from that moment, to come back to peace, it's not going to be easy. Anger robs you of joy. Woo! Anger robs you of joy. It keeps you captive. You want to smile and you can't smile. I mean, we can bring the best comedian on this earth to come up with a joke. The whole world will laugh and you will be the only one standing on this earth not laughing. That's what anger can. It robs you of joy, of your peace. And the fact that you cannot smile and you are seeing others smile, your peace is destabilized. Why are they all happy? Man, I felt that. The more I got angry, the more I see the people rejoice. I'm like, and I want to kill somebody. Can you all look at me? I'm angry. That is what anger does. It seeks attention. It robs you of being authentic. Wow.
Wow.
I've seen this, brothers and sisters, family all over the world. I have seen this. Where you are standing there and you feel so sorry, you're so lonely, you feel so sorry for yourself because you can't let yourself go. You are holding your own self captive. And you see your friends, you would love to be doing what they are doing with them, but you cannot do it with them. And you are in torment, and yet you are praying that somehow they die. And they are not going to die, sorry. Paul says something. He says you are either a slave to sin or you are a slave to righteousness. Either way, you must choose. It is easier to serve on this side of slavery to righteousness because even for whatever reason, you can still go to every man and still laugh and be happy and be free. No matter what they do, that is not your motive. Your motive is that the kingdom is my aim. I seek to please and to do the will of my Father. But anger, you also be doing another's will. And that puts you in bondage. Bondage. Everyone you see, you are suspicious. How can you walk? Look at how many people on this earth walking around this earth being suspicious of everybody. The moment the one you are angry with goes to speak with somebody who is innocent, they've stained that person. Now you can no longer relate with that person.
Yes.
And if that person also moves on to speak to another person, another enemy.
Yep.
And it goes and it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows. And then at some point you are helpless and you are about to die. I was once upon a time like that. And it popped my eardrum. And I keep saying that the Most High puts me through some of these things to be able to tell, to testify of the fruits. And they are not nice. They will take your life. It is easier to let go. Your father wasn't there, let him be. Your mother wasn't there, let him be. The last I checked, they are also humans.
Yes.
They can make mistakes. They make mistakes.
And the Torah says you must honor them. It didn't say you must honor them when they are nice. It says honor them.
So if you cannot honor your mother and father, are you surprised why you are always fighting with your friends? Because you haven't been practicing this from home.
Yeah.
Hey, Yahuwah, you are amazing. One word, it cuts in every corner. Everywhere it cuts. So if you are not doing one, you cannot get to 10. Please, you cannot. Conversion, purity takes place by walking out the word. And as you are doing it, a time comes when you've overcome so much. And you look at people trying to offend you and you now start laughing. And others think, yeah, this guy is powerful, eh? He's not. He just put himself in harm's way a lot. And he learned to master courage in order to overcome hurt and pain. And you can do it. There's somebody out there who's being held by some of these things we're talking about. So much pain. Every time they try to laugh, they get hurt. Every time they try. Listen, the Most High is saying to you, you have to see that as an opportune time or moment or event to help you grow into perfection. It's not so bad. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Go check what Peter and all of them say about that. Gold is refined what?
Through the fire.
What is this fire we are talking about? In these woes, these hurts, these pains and animosities, this is how we grow. All right?
All right. It says, although a righteous man. No.
The next one.
Wherewith what compasses his eyes. That
Wherewith compasses his eyes, with hatred of heart,
so as to be.
so as to be envious of his brother.
So envy has a big part to play with anger as well.
So anger leads to envy as well. See, every sin stems from anger.
Yeah. And most people don't preach or teach about this
That is,
anger.
I mean, look at it. That's why Yahuwah puts that as a second commandment. He says, Love your neighbor as,
As
yourself.
yourself.
That means no anger.
Yes.
And if you can do that, you can celebrate with your neighbor. Because imagine your neighbor just became a millionaire and you are his friend. Do you think he might not remember you? When Yahweh blesses your neighbor, it's only a matter of time when it what? When it reaches to you.
Yeah.
Hey. So we ought to celebrate one another, isn't it? Encouraging one another by virtue of the word. But if we allow anger, then what's going to happen? Then sister against sister, brother against brother, mother against father, children against. I hate this. I hate anger. Yes. With everything inside of me. Because it destroys, it eats life. It does eat life.
Ranga explained.
For anger is an evil thing. So for those of you who are thinking anger is a good thing, the word is telling you that for anger is an evil thing. For it troubles the very soul itself.
The very soul.
Full stop.
Yeah. Continue. Yeah.
And the body of the angry man does anger take over and makes it his own.
That's why people are uncontrollable when they get angry.
So they are possessed.
Yes. Continue. Hear this.
And over his soul it gets the mastery. And it bestows upon the body power that it may work all sins.
Iniquity.
So right before this verse, we actually said it without seeing this part. That out of anger cometh what? Every form of malice, wickedness, contention, hatred, unforgiveness, resentment, pride. Through anger, the spirit of pride comes what? In. Then next thing, comparison. Hey! After comparison, what happens? Jealousy. Then lies. And when lies come in, it's already done. Because then you are scheming to do what? To destroy. Then, let's go for the kill. Murder. It all started by the conception of what?
Anger.
Anger. And this is the very same thing that happened with Cain and Abel. Cain had the opportune at the word, because the Most High came to him and said, if thou doest good, would thou not be received? So when Cain was angry, the Most High came to him. So the same way when each man is angry, the Most High does what? Comes to you. By virtue of what? He says, where's the Most High? I haven't seen the yesterday I was angry, I didn't see the Most High. What do you think was telling you don't do what you were about to do?
Angel of righteousness.
So the Most High came to Cain and said, sin lies at the door, crouching to devour who? You. Sin is a monster. Sin is a monster. This is why the word says purity of mind. Purity. Purity. Pure. So, Cain hears the word, but he chooses his feelings over the word. And you saw what happened. What happened? He schemed in his own mind, had a whole meeting with himself here upstairs. How are we going to do this? I think go around, find that thing. And then when you find it, okay, choose that one. That one looks stronger. Because when you hit him, it will not break. Because if it breaks and he's still alive, he's going to fight back. So it's a whole... oh, Father. The Most High wants his people to understand his word. If you don't understand it, you cannot do it. So for those of you that were waiting for the reasons, Yah is giving you the reasons. That means he's pleading with you to choose virtue, righteousness. So Cain didn't resort to it. And as the word says here in this testament, we read in Testament of Dan, it says, now sin set in and turned Cain into what? Cain became his puppet. Sin was in control. So sin became what? Master. So he says, and the body of the angry man does anger take over and makes it his own. And over his soul, it gets the mastery. And it bestows upon the body power that it may work. So what was the result of Cain's action of disobeying the Most High's word? Although he was told not to. He ended up killing a brother. So the Most High, when Yahusha came, the children of Israel were thinking murder means taking a weapon and killing. No, he says what? Unforgiveness is what? Likened unto murder. Because he's looking at the end result. If you don't check anger, the end of anger leads to what? Death. When you cut, when it divides marriages, what happens to the marriage? The marriage dies. When it cuts friendship, what does it do? Friendship ceases. It's only animosity that is going to live on. So if you want to stop division, separation, animosity, covetousness, lying, cheating, you have to check what? Anger. Anger. You know, once upon a time, an elderly man said to me, one day I was sitting and my wife did something that I just wanted to take the couch and just drop it on her. But when I felt that, something else said, get up and hug her and kiss her. And he did that. And he says, I felt so free. Before his mind could think of all the wickedness, he had been appeased. And he felt so stupid. And the stupidity of what he had just done humbled him. To every reaction,
It's an equal and opposite reaction.
so when you hear someone says, no, that was the only option I had, you were a liar. Okay, let's go.
All right. In anger, the body justifies it. You're enjoying yourself, aren't you? So I'll just leave you alone, let you enjoy it. Go ahead, the next verse.
In anger, the body justifies itself in the evil since it sees not aright. This spirit goes almost always with lying at the right hand of Satan, that with cruelty and lying his works may be wrought. It is important that you understand, therefore, the power of wrath, that it is vain.
In anger, the body justifies itself in the evil since it sees not aright. When we get angry, we are always right, isn't it? And people might be there, and we might be saying to the people, isn't it true that, isn't it true? You see it, and the person might not be seeing it and might start staring blank. And you get even angrier because you want help in justifying the foolishness that you are into.
And then before you know, you also entice them.
Yes.
Because you're looking at the rat and like, oh yeah, you're
Yes,
right.
yes. Because it's how angry you are and they don't want to get you angrier.
I don't want to be involved.
Yes. This spirit goes almost always with lying at the right hand of Satan. At the right hand of Satan. That with cruelty and lying, his works may be wrought. Whose works?
Satan's.
So you become possessed. You become a tool.
Proper demon possesses you. A stronger one.
Wow.
So for those of you that nurture anger, you must know you are possessed by what?
Mm-hmm.
We're not the ones saying it. It's the word, all right?
Continue. For it first of all gives provocation by word. Then by deeds, it strengthens him who is angry. And with sharp disturbs the mind, while also stirring up great wrath in his soul. Therefore, if any man speaks badly against you, be not moved to anger. Love rejoices with what? All men. Everything. Yes.
Everything. Even if the glory doesn't come through me, I rejoice with you. I don't have to wait for it to come to me. I have to celebrate with you so that the day it comes to me, we can also all do what? Because it's for all of us. You see that? So love rejoices with the truth. Love rejoices with the truth.
And then it says,
And if any man praises you as holy man, be not uplifted.
you see it?
Yep.
On one hand, if they speak badly against you, do not be angry. But if they speak good,
Balance. Don't get high-minded.
mm. Mm.
With Yahuwah, it's about balance. And it's the hardest thing to master. Being neutral
Mm.
and allowing all the events flow through you without it moving you.
Humility.
Yeah. So you do good. You just did good. Hey, why did you do? I don't know. I just did. Because usually people are looking for a reason why you did the good.
Yeah.
You don't need a reason to do good. If you are good, you are good.
Mm.
Is it a bad thing to be good?
No.
No. You see that?
Mm.
So we do good because good is good in the first place, not because Yahweh says he will give me a reward. Not because my daddy says if I wash the car. No. Daddy just wants you to know that it's a good thing to clean the car. So on the opposite side as well, with the evil as well, it says the exact same thing. When evil comes, you have to also do what? You have to counter it with good.
Mm.
And don't go about saying, it was through me that I calmed that anger. That's another kind of pride.
Mm.
But in that you rejoice with the truth at all times.
Now, are they not going to build the nest on our head, seeing the goodness and the kindness and the kind of person we are?
Okay. So I have said this to many of my brothers. This is where Satan tempts us to fall vulnerable and susceptible to the devices, all right? Now, the Most High says to Esdras, who is a prophet, and says to him, Esdras wants to know how the wicked are going to be destroyed. And he says to him, do not concern yourself with matters that I, Yahweh alone, is supposed to be to concern myself with. That means don't ask how the wicked are going to be destroyed, but rather seek to know what's going to happen with the righteous, because that should be your goal.
Mm-hmm.
Your goal is to please who? The Most High. The moment you take your eye and your focus off Him, guess what? When you are giving to a beggar, you're going to say, nah, they're going to go drink with the money. Nah, I'm not. And you are now displeasing the Most High. Where else it was easier when you just heard the word, give to the poor. It's not a job. It's not a job to go and investigate what the poor does with the good you do. So you have to, because it's a burdensome task to take. It's going to add to the challenges of you overcoming your own self. So don't take on such matters. The Most High is the one that changes people. Your focus should be on the task of walking this path and getting to the end. It's a narrow path. It doesn't take two. It takes one. That's why I say we are followers. One. It's so narrow. You have to try and fit in and get through. So the Most High says, focus your affections on who? Looking onto Yahusha, Hamashiach, the author, and fit. So the focus, was Yahusha minding what his brothers were saying and what they were not saying? It's too much burden. Why? Because I think, I'm doing this thing alone. Remember, it's like when we were young and we were in the house, right? And daddy gave a task to everyone. My ability to do my task is dependent on whether my other brothers also do it. And so my father can come and we all haven't done it, and guess what? We all get beaten. But if I focused on my dad's instruction and I did my part, whether they did theirs or not, what was going to happen? When daddy came, he was going to pardon me and do what? And discipline the rest. So do not take on the burden of those people. Yes, when you are doing people good in this walk, they are going to think you have become a fool. He's so vulnerable, hey? No, let's go and take more from him. That is the question. That is what led Peter to asking Yahusha, how many times should we forgive our neighbors?
Mm-hmm.
This is the very reason, the very same concern he had. That some people come to us to deliberately hurt us. So what must we do with such people? Because yesterday he came, last week he came. What do I do? Yeah, what did I also say to him? That means how many times? Are you going to be counting 77 times 7 every day? That means you have gone mad. So the Most High says, forgive. Even if they come again, forgive. Even if you can see them, forgive. Yours is to set your focus on finishing this race. It's a race. And the race, each man has to accomplish it by himself. Working out your own salvation with what?
Fear and trembling.
If you understand that, you will not take the burden on who is cheating on you and who is taking. No, because the Most High is going. It's in the book of Enoch. As we are going along, I'll try and see if I can remember it, and I'll show you. It's there. The same question you've asked.
All right, next verse. Be not it makes sense I read. Because you
put the screen
yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna read and then you comment. You lead the comment. Where are we again? Where am I? Let me get this thing off.
Yeah, the screen is the screen on there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right. Be not moved either to delight or disgust, for it pleases the hearing, and so makes the mind keen to perceive the grounds for provocation. And then being enraged, he thinks to be justly angry. So, oh boy.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Let's read through.
Yeah.
And at some point we can
Yeah.
talk.
Twofold, because I want to go to the
All right.
Shepherd of Hermas again.
Okay.
Twofold spirit.
If you come across any loss, be not afflicted, for this makes a man desire that which is perishable, in order that he. And I just said it now. Uncle, are you listening? Are you seeing it there? If you come across any loss, be not afflicted, for this makes a man desire that which is perishable, in order that he may be enraged. Is it right? Enraged through afflictions. And if ye suffer loss voluntarily or involuntarily, be not what?
Vex or nor angry.
Be not vexed nor angry, for from vexation arises wrath with lying.
Lying. Lying always comes with anger.
Because when you lie and you are caught wanting, what happens? You get angry. You start defending. No.
Yes.
They hate me. No one hates you. Sorry. Yeah.
If you come across any lies, be not afflicted, for this makes a man desire that which is perishable, in order that he may be enraged through afflictions. Oh boy, this is deep.
So we get swelled up.
You
see that when people, when you are walking, as she said, when you are walking this walk, people are going to see you as vulnerable. And don't think that just because you are practicing righteousness, when people come and harm you, you don't see they are deliberately harming you. You can see. But the word does what? It restrains you. But now, if you move to listen and give ear to what is coming to you, they are going to do what? Stir up a good reason why you ought to show them, guys, I'm good at karate, right? Just because I'm not beating doesn't mean I cannot. You see, now you are being drawn into what? Into the things of the world again. So you are sharing sentiments, and that sentiment you are sharing is going to validate the reason why you ought to show justice by yourself. And when you fall to that deception, then it says you have sought after the perishable things. That means you are going to be destroyed should you die as well. Because you have resorted to what? To sin, to taking vengeance by yourself. Moreover, a twofold mischief is wrath with lying, and they assist one another in order to disturb the heart. And when the soul is continued, are you sure men wrote this? It's so perfect.
I'm telling you. And these things are not in the Bible.
How can we say we have the fullness of the gospel? Look at how
This is not from the flesh.
it's not.
It is spiritual. It's coming from straight from the Most High.
It's not. This is a person who has lived this thing
Yeah.
and is writing it down for you.
Well, look at his spiritual intelligence.
What?
Look at how intelligent he is spiritually.
Wow.
And he says, and when the soul is continually disturbed, the Most High departs from it, and Belial rules over it. Read it. Let me read it again. Moreover, a twofold mischief is wrath with lying, and they assist one another in order to disturb the heart. And when the soul is continually disturbed, the Most High departs from it, and Belial rules over it.
Please, you need to hear this. You need to hear this. Because I'm telling you, many of us are susceptible to this. What is happening here? What is being said here? And in this time, this is how Satan is working. Moreover, a twofold mischief is what? Wrath with lying. Anger and lying. They are the best friends
Of Satan.
Oh, these two tools.
Mm.
These two.
Wow.
They will not leave a soul peaceful. All right. So he says, mischief is wrath and lying, and they assist one another in order to disturb. And yet people say the kingdom of Satan is divided. How can it be divided? They are working together. Mischiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Mischief. So they work or they assist one another in order to disturb the heart. And when the soul is, see, when someone is lying on you, what do you think is happening internally in you? When someone tells a lie on you and you go and hear it, what happens inside of you?
Stirs up the soul.
It stirs up. You are heartbroken and you are angry. You see the poison they are trying to deposit inside of you. So the Most High is saying, block it out. Don't engage with such conversations. Leave it to them. Because the moment, see, someone will come. Man, brother, you know I love you. Let me tell you something. This is what they are saying about you. That's a messenger of Satan. But it's a good person, all right? But you have to see the spirit that is working in that person.
Mm.
Don't hate the person. See the spirit at work in that person. Isn't it what Yahusha did with Peter?
Mm. Get thee behind me, Satan.
Yeah. I rebuke. I'm sure Peter was like, oh, I've become Satan now. No. He saw the spirit that was in him. So they will bring, so your brother that loves you truly is bringing, because when someone is talking about my brother and I hear it, it's only natural that I come and tell him that if I love him, to tell him, say, they're talking up. But the Most High is saying even that in itself is dangerous. Because if you don't have wisdom, it's going to be a validation to go and sin against Yahuwah. Because once they tell you that information, you're going to start hating your brother. The one, twofold ministry. Satan has one. Anger and lying, twofold ministry. There is a union between those two.
Mm-hmm.
And they seek to trap people.
All right. So we want to go and look into the shepherd of Hermas. Wonder if we have time. How much time have we got?
About 1 hour.
Oh, 1 hour.
45 minutes or something.
How much time has gone? All right, it doesn't sound bad, look bad so far. All right, let's go to the shepherd of Hermas. This book called The Shepherd of Hermas. If you have not read this book, it's another book that you need to read. Patience and anger. We are going to look at the correlation between patience and anger. I'm going to read and you comment instead. All right. All right. Commands 5. 1. Be patient and understanding, he said, and you will overcome all evil deeds and will accomplish all righteousness. For if you are patient, hear this, for if you are patient, Ruach HaKadosh, the Holy Spirit that lives in you, will be pure, uncontaminated by some other evil spirit living in a spacious room. It will rejoice and be glad with the vessels in which it lives, and will serve Allah with much cheerfulness, for it is at peace with itself. It's a whole mouthful.
It is a whole mouthful, but it's already summed up from the beginning. Pay attention to this. It says, be what?
Patient.
Patient. This is a trait that is going to save many souls in these times.
Yeah.
Be what?
Patient.
Patient and understanding.
Understanding.
This is the spirit of the law.
Mm.
This, if you have this too, the Most High will save you. This too, on this foundation cometh knowledge and understanding. And then wisdom is now the fruit thereof. Because let me give an example. When you see your brother doing something that is wrong, what is the approach the Most High wants you to take? What approach does the Most High want me to take? When I see something wrong in anyone, what is our approach? Knowing the commandments, what should be my approach? Yeah. You can use the microphone.
Shalom. The carnal mind would want to just call it out. And it's very easy to get caught up in just calling it out. But the Most High is now putting the onus on you to say, how can you pull this brother out of sin? The same way how Mashiach came and pulled all of us out of sin by your example. How can you now go and reinstitute this person to love the very thing that you're calling out? So like you said, it's important on how you deliver it. It's important on exactly the manner of way and speech you even talk to this person.
So what you're saying is 100% true. But now you're missing the secret ingredient. It says patient and
Understanding.
so how is understanding going to help you in this matter?
Then you must put yourself in the shoes of that person.
Thank
Where are
you
they
very
coming
much. Thank you very much. This is a spirit of the law. For you to not recklessly judge. Because as he said, it's easy to point out and count offenses, isn't it? But it's not easy to put yourself in their shoes, is it? And none of us want to do that. We don't want to bear the cost of correction. How long does a father and mother have to stay with a child in order for them to grow into the right tree? Forever, right? That is why it says he who endures to the end. So both the sinner has to endure and both the righteous have to endure. The righteous is enduring in aid, helping those who oppose themselves. And how can you help another when you are not patient? It's not going to work, isn't it? Imagine being patient with your loved ones. Think about it. This is why it's important to remove that heart of high-mindedness. If you are a truly born leader, you always seek to go down to the ground so that you can relate with the people and bring them back up to your high stand. If you cannot do that, then you have nowhere or no stands with the Most High. So he's saying, be patient and understand. Understand. The Most High knows his people were in error because they did not understand. So what does he do? Does he sit back and continue to whip them? What does he do now? He sends aid, help, in the form of an example, copy and paste in Yahusha. Copy and paste it to your life. So the Most High understood our needs and made provisions so that we don't continue in the error. And the error we were in wasn't that we were doing something that was, no, we had the word, we had the truth. but we were still in error. You see that? So you can be right and still be wrong. It requires patience. Patience is an eye. Understanding is also an eye. Now, when you have this two on, man, how much peace you would find in things. Because you would not be forcing people's will into things they don't even understand, because they won't do it. They will do it because of their fear for you, but the moment you walk away, what happens? Back to the default state. So you have to be able to apply wisdom, and wisdom comes from patience and understanding. When you have this too, you are wise. That if you want, because when you see error, your dispensational, your desire is that what they should do the right thing, isn't it? So if you desire, and that desire is sincere, what does desire translate to? Help. Can we look at the dictionary meaning of help, please? This is what it means to be a judge. What does it mean to help? Because judgment is help. I see sin, and my mind and the word tells me that I should call it out. So how do I call out sin in order not for the person to fall away, but for the person to be able to rise up again and do what? And be encouraged and do the right thing. Continue in well doing. Uncle, do you have it?
Help from the Merriam-Webster. To give assistance or support to someone.
Whoa! I bet you have never thought about this. What is help?
To give assistance or support to someone. To provide someone with something
Is it gonna...
that is useful or necessary in achieving an end.
Are you looking at the definition? Assisting in what? In something. And it has an aim, isn't it? What is the aim? To help. To change their disposition, their ways, their thinking, isn't it? Now, can you do that harshly? Can that? You cannot aid and be reckless with the aid you are offering. Your wisdom would determine that you're able to win that person over and not break that person off. That is why it says of Yahusha that even a bruised reed, he will not what? Break. So, if you've come to help who? Means help people that are needy. They are broken. They are hurt. They are oppressed. They are afflicted. They are ashamed, guilty, useless. Can you come and heap more uselessness on them?
No.
So who is the Most High really looking for? How do you help an ignorant person? Do you help them by making yourself feel good? Is it for you to get a high that I'm better, knowledgeable, I'm important, you are all useless? No. You become a servant. You can only help if you're a servant. If you don't put on the glasses of a servant, you are going to miss this work. A servant cannot be proud. You get it? When you have a house and the drain is blocked, the sewage is blocked, you don't sit there and pray. What do? How do you fix it, Uncle George? You put your hands in all that feces to pull out what? To pull out the feces. You are going through feces to pull out. Sorry, I have to use this example so that you can see it. Because sinners are like feces, stinking. The Most already knows they stink. He doesn't need you, the righteous, to come and tell him they are stinking. No. He needs you to help them. So you have to go there and do the work. Put your hand in there and remove what is blocking it. And that is humbling, isn't it? Because you are smelling it. And if you know about feces, ammonia gas, it can also burn your hands, isn't it? So you are also helping somebody. So in aiding, you also get hurt. They will trample on you. All right, let's continue.
Verse 3. But if an angry temper approaches, immediately the Holy Spirit, Ruach HaKadosh, which is very sensitive, is distressed, because it does not have a clean place, and it seeks to leave the place. For it is choked by the evil spirit and does not have the room to serve Yahuwah the way it wants to, because it is polluted by the angry temper. So hard it is.
I'm telling you, after Yahusha beat those guys in the temple, he felt bad. Very bad.
Yeah.
Very bad. And I'm sure he probably went on his knees and said, Father, forgive me.
Yeah.
Because that's what it means to be. Sometimes being righteous means you are provoked. Because you can see things that it's obvious they ought to be doing it. Why are they not doing it? And it charges you and it vexes you. And when it vexes you, this is where you ought to do what? To control your wrath. Because if you release it, it can be validated by Torah. But you can be better. That's what Yahweh is saying. You can do what? Better. You see what Shaul was doing? What was Paul doing? He was killing. The anger he had was a good one. But it was mis what? What does an English word? Misplaced.
Misplaced.
Misplaced something.
Misplaced, misguided.
Yeah, it was misguided, yes. His understanding was misguided. So he resorted to gratifying that anger rather than leaving it to the Most High and going down to help the people. And because he was taught by a Pharisee, he also literally took on the garments of the Pharisees. They sit there in their high pedestal and they render judgments only. They don't help the people to overcome their sins, which is what many pastors do. Let's continue. All right.
Yeah. For Yahuwah lives in patience, but the devil lives in an angry temper. For Yahuwah lives in patience, but the devil lives in an angry temper. What a profound statement that is.
Yeah. And patience is a strong tower. With patience, a man can turn any dead situation into a living one. That's why I said with patience, many marriages would have been saved. In patience, many families would have been saved. Many relationships would have been saved. Brother to brother, sister to sister, friend to friend, all kinds, teacher to student, everyone. With patience, you can build a city and it will be filled with so much peace. Without patience, everybody resorts to assumptions. And on assumptions, can a city not be built? Why? Because can I assume for you to bring me a brick? If I need a brick, what do I need to do? I need to reach out, communicate to you. And patience will teach you even how to communicate, how to speak. Because patience is virtue, it's virtuous. It's calm, it's gentle. And it looks and it speaks to you, and you're like, wow. He doesn't want to hurt me. He really wants to embrace me. Patience provokes love. And when people are provoked by your patience, they are moved to even serve you better. And so they make your job on this earth very easy. And that was the very same thing the Messiah did with his brothers who were following him, the disciples. He was bearing with them. And they saw that, and later they believed that he truly did love them because their issues mattered to him. This is all patience. That's why the word says, Yahusha learned obedience by what?
Things that he suffered.
The things that he suffered. It taught him what? Patience. All right, let's continue.
Verse 4. So if both spirits live together, that is patience and an angry temper. So if both spirits live together, it is unfortunate and evil for that person in whom they live. let's go down to 6. You see then that patience is very sweet, even more so than honey, and it is useful to Yahuwah, and he lives in it. But an angry temper is bitter and useless. So if an angry temper is mixed with patience, the patience is polluted, and its intercession is no longer useful to Alua. Wow. Okay. All right, so I want us to go to Shepherd of Hermas 6, because I want to show, as we were speaking about the spirits that are in us, we want to look at the 2 spirits that are always active in man. Very important, as it affects anger and all sorts of sins. Every single sin is controlled by the 2 angels that dwell in us, according to the book of the Shepherd of Hermas. 35:1. I commanded you, he said, in the first commandments to protect emunah, or faith, and fear, and self-control. Yes, sir, I said, but now, he said, I want to explain to you their powers so that you may understand what the power and effect of each is. So this is Hermas there talking with the angel. For their effects are twofold. They relate to righteousness and to unrighteousness. Be sure, therefore, to trust righteousness, but do not trust unrighteousness. For the way of righteousness is straight, but the way of unrighteousness is crooked. All right, let me go down to 36. Now here he said about faith, there are 2 angels with a person, one of righteousness and one of wickedness. So how, sir, I said, will I recognize their workings, given that both angels live with me? Listen, he said, and you will understand them. The angel of righteousness is sensitive and modest and gentle and tranquil. When this one enters your heart, immediately he talks with you about righteousness, about purity, about holiness, about contentment and every righteous deed, and about every exalted virtue. Whenever all these things enter your heart, you know that the angel of righteousness is with you. These then are the works of the angel of righteousness. So trust him and his works. So we have the angel of righteousness. 2 angels, one of righteousness and one of wickedness. And that is why whenever certain things come upon us, we hear, so you say a voice is telling me to do this, and a voice is telling me to do that. Yes. So the angel of righteousness is telling you, don't do that which is wrong. Always telling you to do what is right. So we're going to see the angry one now, the angel of wickedness. Now observe the works of the angel of wickedness. First of all, he is ill-tempered and bitter and senseless, and his works are evil, tearing down the Most High's servants. So whenever this one enters your heart, recognize him by his works. But I do not know, sir, I said, how to recognize him. Listen, he said, when some angry, temperamental outburst or bitterness comes over you, recognize that he is in you. Yeah? Anger manifests the angel of wickedness. Then comes the desire for much business and extravagant kinds of food and drink.
I'm reading it here.
Let me say again. Listen, he said, when some angry temperamental outburst or bitterness comes over you, recognize that he is in you. Then comes the desire for much business.
Much business.
And extravagant kinds of food and drink.
That reminds me of that other house. You said you've never seen people busy like that.
And much drunkenness and various kinds of unnecessary luxuries and the desire for a woman
Wow.
and greed and arrogance
And pretentious.
and pretentiousness and whatever else resembles or is similar to these things. So whenever these things enter your heart, you know that the angel of wickedness is with you.
True.
Hey. Recognizing therefore his works, shun him and do not trust him at all, because his works are evil and harmful to the Most High servant. You now have then the working of both angels. Understand them and trust the angel of righteousness, but shun the angel of wickedness, because his teaching is evil in every respect. For if there should be an extremely faithful man, and the thought of that angel should enter his heart, that man or woman must inevitably commit some sin. On the other hand, if there should be an extremely sinful man or woman, and the works of the angel of righteousness should enter into his or her heart, of necessity that person must do something good. You see then, he said that it is good to follow the angel of righteousness, but shun the angel of wickedness. The shepherd of Hermas. You have anything else to say, Ak?
No, it's the book has said it all.
Yeah, this I said it. I have nothing else to say.
It's a full stop.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a mic drop moment. Oh boy. This is a drop mic moment. Very profound. But the Most High has spoken. Anger has been the problem of most of us, I think, throughout our lives. So now the word has come, time to change our lives, time to transform ourselves and be aware of the angel of wickedness and the angel of righteousness. And just turn our lives around and seek to walk in righteousness and true holiness. All right? So, what else is there to say? The word has said it all. All right? The word has said it all. And so, I want to thank you all for watching. And, oh boy, I want to thank you all for watching. And please like, share, subscribe. Please share this video and continue to make it Just a Word. Remember, Just a Word Radio at justawordradio.com or 24/7 radio, always online. You can check that out for teachings, music, talk, and whatever things to edify us all. All right? So thank you all for watching. Shalom.
Shalom.
Get this thing off. What is this? I'm trying to get this thing off.
Uncle,
Eh?
you have Yahuwah will love you. Yahuwah will love you. The song.
It's on?
Can you play the song Yahuwah will love you?
Oh, we can't play it on YouTube because they'll flag it for copyright.
Oh, no, I'm talking about for the house.
Oh,
On
yeah.
the radio or something.
Okay.
Yeah. He wants to listen to it.
Okay. It's still on YouTube, yeah? Yeah.